rAVe Radio. With rants and raves, you'll be okay. And today is your lucky day. It is rants and raves with Gary.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Rants and Raves. I'm Steph Beckett, and joining me in my pre-InfoComm 2026 series is Tim Allen, Director of Sales for the Central Region for SNA Displays. Tim, welcome. This is your first time on the podcast, so glad to have you here.
Oh, thank you. It's such a joy. Really appreciate what you and Gary and the team do for the industry.
Yeah, of course. So first things first, most of the time when I have people on, I want them to talk just a little bit about who they are and what they do. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I like to start by telling people I'm from the island of misfit toys. Back in the day, they really didn't know. There was no Full Sail, there was no college, there was nothing to do with us AV-minded people. And it was an interesting mixture of turning knobs and being called out of class. I remember to fix the film projector for the Donald Duck mathematic thing where there was a cassette that went with it. But the point is, I have been doing this now for a little over 30 years. Truly enjoy the aspects of it. It gave me an opportunity. I'm grateful for the audiovisual industry as a whole and to see the growth and the change that has occurred over the last decades.
Yeah, 100%. So kind of talking a little bit, tell me a little bit about what you do for SNA.
Sure. I've been blessed with the responsibility to handle the central region as well as the marine market, which I can talk a little bit more about. But so what I do here is handle the sales and the CEO of the region, as Jackie, who handles the channel, always reminds us. It is our responsibility to make sure that SNA is represented well to not only the designers and the consultants, but to the industry at large. And to me, I'm also passionate about the end users as well, because I like to say that pixels are for the people. We design them around humans.
Yeah,
and I'm very passionate about that.
Yeah. So kind of we're at an interesting time in LED, I would say. We're seeing like large format LED become more of a part of a lot of these architecture of spaces. So we're seeing this in retail and hospitality and even in corporate lobbies. So in your opinion, are customers approaching displays differently now than they were a few years ago? Has anything changed?
Oh, I think dramatically. I think post the pandemic situation, I think there has been a call to action to understand a lot more of the intent before the content. There was I think a previous run coming up to this, and I started back in the day with another company, but back in the early 2000s, I was there when we started doing large projects. And back then, for example, every wall that was sold included flying to China to do the actual authorization test. And then quickly there was a or not quickly, but over the last decade or so, there's been more of a commoditization of that. So what's happened is these screens are no longer viewed as just a window that gets put on a wall. They're now considered the wall. They're now considered the architecture and their building blocks. And I think that's really what you're seeing happening, that even in a boardroom, the number of clients that want to build a boardroom around the screen, as opposed to back in the day when you have a boardroom that needed a screen, right? Yeah. And so now we're seeing that transformation that has already been taking place and currently taking place and will continue to, where the architecture and the technology are merging into one, that when you walk into a lobby, the lobby was purposely built to captivate you, to engage you while you're interacting with the brand, so that you get a holistic approach to who they are and your first impression, and then their content then led to the implementation of the intent. So hopefully you then build upon that relationship as you walk through those turnstiles, even though you're not putting a chair down and sitting down and just sitting in, the Salesforce lobby and just sitting there for 8 hours, right? It's a pretty quick movement, but they want to captivate you at that moment.
How have these changes in the way that we view LED walls and the way that we see them now as being part of the room, how has that changed your job?
Well, one thing that's changed for sure is there was a time when we dealt just with the AV department. There were companies that just had AV departments, not IT departments. Those were still another group. They were purely that. What has changed in interaction with them is you're dealing with a bunch of different stakeholders now. You're dealing with some of the stakeholders who know that this is their responsibility, and they have to be able to check that box. You then have the value proposition that goes up to the marketing or to the C-level suite to say, hey, what are we getting out of this?
Yeah.
And interesting enough, there's actually another customer involved that we don't really talk about much, and that is those that work with the company itself, right? The stockholders.
Yeah.
Because in a market that is, say, not as cheery, right? And you tell someone, hey, we just put in a $6 million lobby wall, you're going to have investors that are going to raise their hand and say, was that really appropriate? So
Right.
It's interesting now as you ask, the conversations we're having, although we're not talking to the stockholders, but you can feel their influence come in because the beautiful designs and the beautiful architecture is now also having to be weighed against, is this financially where we want to go versus maybe another avenue? And so that is where my daily dealings get into the design with the designers, with the consultants, but with the architects now, and with policy stakeholders a lot sooner than it used to, because they all want to say can we do this without doing this and spending that? Mm-hmm. And that's where a lot of those conversations go today.
Another big change that I have noticed in the past few years is the way that we think of dvLED. So what are the conversations that are changing the fastest with customers right now for you regarding dvLED in particular?
Yeah, I think, I don't know if you've heard it put this way, but one thing that's really stuck with me is information versus comprehension. We now live in a societal trend that information is everywhere. And I think articulating that information has become more and more important. This actually probably leads to I believe, probably the next question, but
Right, yeah.
This is going to be the first year that SNA has chosen to be part of Infocom as its own booth. Mm-hmm. But the reason has to do with comprehension, not just knowledge, because we believe there's a comprehension gap in the market. It wasn't long ago where the term cob was preceded by the word corn. And that was just the thing. Nobody was running around talking about the technology of their TV, right? When I was younger, it was a tube television,
Yeah.
but only a few of us geeks knew what that tube number was or cared, right? But now you have everyday IT managers that are like, yeah, I think I need and this is from them, right? I think I need a cob, or I need a gobe, or I need and
Yeah.
it always makes me chuckle because they've read these somewhere. We now live in the information download, but when you get down to the comprehension level, you always wonder, what is that about? What am I? Have I done my job enough that you comprehend, not in a smart aleck way, but in
Yeah.
a knowledge base, so that you understand who SNA is, what SNA can provide, and why we do what we do. And I think that's what you're going to see at our booth this year. You're really going to see an articulation of the comprehension of, here is why we do what we do. Here is
Yeah.
why we provide what we provide, so that we want you to be better informed, because we believe an educated, comprehensive customer is a better customer than someone that's just skimming the catalog trying to find what's the cheapest part. That game can be played anywhere, but we find that our long-term customers, our success has been built on the comprehension aspect, and we're bringing those roots. We're bringing our website, we're bringing who we are, we're bringing our DNA to Infocom this year.
Yeah, it is big. Y'all are going to be in the North Hall, booth 6955.
Five, yes.
Yep. I was like, wait, go look at my notes.
I know. You have all the booths in your head, but no, I appreciate
Literally.
that.
So this is going to be huge. So if you had to give, one reason to people who are going to InfoComm why they should stop at SNA, what would that reason be?
The reason is simply this. If you want to understand deeper what all this is, we are the dvLED library to help you find what you want.
Yeah.
We are the old microfilm. We are the card catalog to help you discover what it is you want to know, what it is you'd like to know, and how we can assist you with your intent to achieve what's best for the content so you can achieve your goals.
Absolutely. Well, Tim, thank you so much for your time. Last thing I want to ask you is where can people find more about SNA and where can people connect with you online? Because we were talking before we started recording about how you really care a lot about the people in the industry. You want people to reach out to you. You want to be there for anyone who needs it. So how can people do that?
Well, thank you. Obviously, snadisplays.com is the website. We have fantastic resources there. It is the entry into our organization. It has everything from our current work to past work. It has products. It has an Envision suite to be able to create your own designs and be able to map stuff out. And then for myself personally, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm an old penny. I've been around a while. I know I jokingly say we've helped, hide some bodies from time to time, and we know where they're buried. But, the other thing, though, that I would like to end with is, and I'd like for the industry to know, and I believe most of us are very passionate about this, and that is, if you're struggling with anything mentally, physically, if you're looking for someone to just talk to, I know not only myself, but I know there's a lot of key people and a lot of nice people out there that understand that people do come first over what we do. We appreciate what we do. We've been blessed to do it, but we understand. But if you're in a point where you need just someone to talk to, not only about this industry, but about personal things, please seek those resources. Please find them, myself included, whether it be in Vegas or via my phone or web, but truly appreciate as an organization what you and InfoComm and others do for the up and coming, and as well as for some of us old dudes who are proud to see the shift in the direction you and others are taking this. So thank you.
Appreciate that, and agreed, mental health is absolutely important. So I can include some resources in the notes, but also, you guys, if you need anything, you can also, reach out to either of us. So, Tim, thank you so much. I appreciate you being on this episode of Rants and Raves.
Wonderful. Hope to see you in Vegas.
Yeah, see you in Vegas. And for all of you watching or listening, don't forget to go to ravepubs.com/InfoComm for all your InfoComm news. Again, I'm Steph Beckett, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Rave Radio. With rants and raves, you'll be okay. And today is your lucky day. It is rants and